I passed over 80 federal medical examinations in 42 years, and not a single one of them found the blockages that nearly killed me. 80 physicals, 80 EKGs, 80 blood pressure checks, 80 blood panels. Every 6 months for my entire career, the Federal Aviation Administration certified that I was healthy enough to be responsible for the lives of 300 passengers at 35,000 feet. And the whole time, my arteries were slowly filling with plaque that would eventually stop my heart. If the most rigorous medical screening system in civilian employment could not find what was growing inside me, what makes you think your annual physical is going to find what is growing inside you? I need you to pay attention to what I am about to tell you, because it might save your life. It would have saved mine if anyone had told me this 40 years ago. But nobody did. The doctors did not know. The FAA did not know. I certainly did not know. And I almost died because of that ignorance. I was an airline pilot for 42 years, United Airlines. I started on the DC-8 in 1969 and finished on the Boeing 777 in 2011. I logged over 31,000 flight hours. I flew through thunderstorms, ice, mechanical emergencies, and passenger crises. I landed planes in crosswinds that would make your knuckles white just hearing about them. I was trusted with hundreds of lives every single day I went to work. To maintain that trust, the FAA required me to prove my health every 6 months. Not once a year, like most pilots in other countries. Every 6 months. A first-class medical certificate meant blood work, urine analysis, EKG, blood pressure, vision, hearing, a complete physical examination. If anything was wrong, anything at all, I would lose my certificate and my career would be over. I never failed. Not once in 42 years. My blood pressure was consistently good. My cholesterol numbers were within acceptable ranges. My EKG showed normal sinus rhythm every single time. The doctors would look at my results and tell me I was in excellent health. I believed them. Why would I not believe them? They were the experts. They had the tests. They had the data. What I did not understand, what nobody explained to me, was that the tests they were running could not see what was actually killing me. An EKG measures the electrical activity of your heart. It can detect arrhythmias, damage from previous heart attacks, and certain structural problems. What it cannot detect is plaque building up inside your coronary arteries. You can have arteries that are 80% blocked and produce a perfectly normal EKG. The electricity is flowing fine. The blood is not. A standard cholesterol panel measures the ingredients floating in your blood: LDL, HDL, triglycerides. What it does not tell you is whether those ingredients are sticking to your artery walls and forming the deposits that will eventually kill you. 2 people can have identical cholesterol numbers. One has clean arteries. One has severe blockages. The blood test cannot tell the difference. A blood pressure check measures the pressure in your cardiovascular system at that moment. It does not show you the damage that pressure has been doing to your artery walls over decades. It does not show you the microscopic tears where cholesterol is accumulating. A stress test, which the FAA did not even require for most of my career, measures how your heart performs under load. It can detect blockages that restrict blood flow during exercise, but it only reliably detects blockages that are 70% or greater. You can have a 60% blockage, pass a stress test with flying colors, and die of a heart attack the next week when that plaque ruptures. I did not know any of this. The doctors either did not know or did not tell me. For 42 years, I walked around believing I was one of the healthiest people in America because the federal government certified me as healthy every 6 months. 14 months after I retired, I was on a golf course with 3 friends. It was a Tuesday, October. Beautiful day. Somewhere around the 14th hole, I started feeling tired. Not just regular tired, a strange kind of tired. Heavy. Like my body was working harder than it should have been. I also noticed a pressure in my chest. Not pain exactly, pressure. Like someone had put a sandbag on my sternum. I know now that these were classic symptoms of cardiac distress. At the time, I thought I was just getting old and out of shape. I had been retired for over a year. I was not exercising as much as I used to. I figured I had let myself go a little, and the golf course was exposing it. So I finished the round. I played 4 more holes with a heart that was struggling to get blood through arteries that were nearly closed. I drove home. I ate dinner with my wife, Patricia. I did not mention that I felt strange because I did not want to worry her over nothing. That night, around 9:30, I was standing in the kitchen getting a glass of water when everything went wrong very fast. The pressure in my chest became pain, real pain, crushing pain. My left arm went numb. I started sweating. I remember thinking very clearly, this is a heart attack. And then, I remember nothing. Patricia found me on the kitchen floor. She called 911 and started CPR. She had learned CPR 30 years earlier and never used it until that moment. She did chest compressions for 7 minutes until the paramedics arrived. The paramedics shocked my heart twice in the ambulance. I was clinically dead for a total of about 4 minutes. At the hospital, they did an angiogram. They found 3 severely blocked arteries. One was 85% blocked. The left anterior descending artery. Doctors call it the widowmaker because when it closes completely, you die. I was minutes away from complete occlusion. They did emergency bypass surgery, 5 grafts. When I woke up, the cardiologist came to see me. I asked him how this was possible. I told him about the FAA medicals. I told him I had passed over 80 examinations. I told him I was supposed to be healthy. He looked at me and said something I will never forget. He said, "Those tests are not designed to find this. They are designed to make sure you can do your job today. They are not designed to predict what will happen tomorrow." He told me the blockages in my arteries had been developing for at least 15 years, probably longer. The entire second half of my flying career, I had been walking around with a time bomb in my chest, and nobody knew because nobody looked. Let me explain what is actually happening inside your arteries right now, because this is what the standard tests do not show. Your arteries are lined with a smooth layer of cells called the endothelium. When that layer is healthy, blood flows past it without friction. But over time, factors like high blood pressure, high blood sugar, smoking, and even just the mechanical stress of blood flow can cause microscopic damage to that lining. Your body tries to repair the damage by sending cholesterol to the site. The cholesterol accumulates. White blood cells come to inspect. They consume the cholesterol and become foam cells. The foam cells harden. What you get is a deposit of cholesterol, calcium, and cellular debris stuck to your artery wall. This is plaque. As the plaque grows, your artery does something remarkable. It expands outward to accommodate the growth, maintaining the opening for blood flow. This is called positive remodeling. It means you can have significant plaque buildup while your blood flows completely normally. No symptoms, no reduced performance, no warning signs. You can run marathons. You can pass stress tests. You can pass FAA medical examinations. The blood is still getting through. You feel fine. You are not fine. You just do not know it yet. The danger comes when the plaque becomes unstable. Soft plaque, filled with fatty material and covered by a thin cap, can rupture. When it ruptures, your body thinks there is a wound. It sends platelets to form a clot. In a matter of minutes, that clot can grow large enough to completely seal off the artery. Total blockage. Instant. This is why half of all men and nearly 2/3 of women who have heart disease have sudden death as their very first symptom. Not chest pain, not shortness of breath, death. They felt fine right up until the moment they did not. This is what happened to me. This is what almost happened to me on that golf course. If I had not made it home, if I had collapsed on the 14th hole instead of my kitchen, if Patricia had not known CPR, if the paramedics had taken 3 more minutes to arrive, I would be dead. You would not be watching this video. My grandchildren would never have known me. I am telling you all of this because you are probably making the same mistake I made. The soft plaque is the dangerous kind, the unstable kind, the kind that ruptures and kills you without warning. This is the test that can find the killers before they kill. If you are over 40 years old, you should be asking your doctor about these tests. If your doctor says you do not need them because your cholesterol is fine, or your blood pressure is normal, or you passed your stress test, you should insist. Or find another doctor, because those standard tests cannot see what is actually happening inside your arteries. I am living proof. 80 medical examinations and they missed everything. I want to tell you about the symptoms I ignored because you might be ignoring the same things right now. For about 6 months before my heart attack, I had occasional moments of unusual fatigue during physical activity. Playing with my grandchildren. Walking uphill. Nothing dramatic. Just a feeling that I was working harder than I should have been. I attributed it to age. I attributed it to being retired and less active. I attributed it to anything except my heart because I had been told my heart was healthy. I also had occasional tightness in my chest after exertion. Not pain. Tightness. Like someone was gently squeezing. It would go away after a few minutes of rest. I thought it was muscle strain. I thought it was stress. I thought it was nothing. That tightness has a name. Angina. It is your heart telling you that it is not getting enough blood during exertion. It is a warning sign. If I had understood what it meant, if I had gone to a cardiologist and asked for an angiogram when I first felt it, they would have found the blockages 6 months before they nearly killed me. They could have done an elective procedure instead of emergency surgery. The outcome would have been completely different. But I did not understand, and nobody explained it to me. And I trusted that feeling fine meant being fine. Please do not make the same mistake. I am 88 years old now. I have had 3 cardiac events since that first heart attack. I have stents in 2 arteries and bypasses in 3 others. I take 7 medications every day to keep my reconstructed cardiovascular system functioning. I see a cardiologist every 4 months. I get scanned regularly to check for new problems. I have lived 25 years longer than I should have. 25 years that I only got because my wife knew CPR and the paramedics were fast and the surgeons were good. 25 years of watching my grandchildren grow up, of traveling with Patricia, of being alive when I easily could have been dead. Those 25 years were not guaranteed by my FAA medical certificates. They were stolen back from a disease that was invisible to every standard test. I am only here because I got lucky on that golf course, and because modern medicine could repair what I did not know was broken. You do not have to rely on luck. You have options I did not have. The scans exist. The technology is there. You can actually look inside your arteries and see what is growing before it kills you. Get a coronary calcium scan. It costs a few $100s in most places and takes 5 minutes. If your score is 0, congratulations. You can relax for a few years before checking again. If your score is anything above 0, you know you have plaque and you can start managing it before it becomes an emergency. If you have symptoms, any symptoms, do not dismiss them. Unusual fatigue. Chest tightness that comes with exertion and goes away with rest. Pain in your jaw or shoulder or back that you cannot explain. Shortness of breath that seems out of proportion to what you are doing. These are warnings. Your heart is trying to tell you something. Listen to it. Do not trust that feeling healthy means being healthy. I felt healthy. 80 federal medical examinations said I was healthy. I was not healthy. I was dying slowly and nobody knew. I made my living keeping people safe at 35,000 feet. I was good at my job. I planned for every contingency. I trained for every emergency. I never took unnecessary risks with my passengers' lives. But I took unnecessary risks with my own life because I trusted a system that could not see what was actually happening inside me. Do not make that mistake. The tests that matter are available. The knowledge is there. The only thing standing between you and knowing the truth about your heart is your decision to go find out. I almost died on a golf course in October 25 years ago. My wife saved my life with CPR she learned 30 years before and never thought she would use. The paramedics saved my life with a defibrillator. The surgeons saved my life with bypass grafts. You can save your own life with a scan and a conversation with a cardiologist who knows what to look for. Please do it. Please do it soon. Please do not wait until you collapse in your kitchen and someone has to pump your chest to keep you alive. I spent 42 years flying through every kind of weather and emergency you can imagine. The heart attack in my kitchen was the closest I ever came to dying, and I never saw it coming because I trusted tests that could not see what was killing me. Now you know. Now you have no excuse. Go get checked. Find out the truth. Do it for yourself. Do it for the people who love you. Do it because you have the option I never had. And then live the years you might have lost.